Yes, this is DJ Ski, and this is the Sports Card Strategy Show. You already know there is no off-season.
I'm Jeff Wilson, and I'm loving the content here on the Sports Card Strategy Show. There is no off-season.
All right, you ready to rock?
Ready to go.
What's up, everybody? I'm Paul Hickey with NoOffSeason.com. This is the Sports Card Strategy Show. Don't forget to get a free 30-day trial at NoOffSeason.com today to help you make money flipping sports cards, build your sports card investment portfolio, get unlimited advice from our experts, and take sports card school to navigate the hobby. That's NoOffSeason.com. Get your free 30-day trial today. All the data we use on the Sports Card Strategy Show is from MarketMoversApp.com. Use code NOOFFSEASON at MarketMoversApp.com to get 20% off for life after a free 14-day trial. All right, let's get to the Sports Card Strategy. What is up, everybody? Paul Hickey here with NoOffSeason.com. It is Monday, October 7th. Welcome to the Sports Card Strategy Show. Very, very excited to be here with you today. We're going to talk about just about everything on the Sports Card Strategy Show, but more specifically than that, my least favorite NFL quarterback of all time and how well he's doing. My biggest sports card takeaway from the amazing Sunday Night Football game last night between the Cowboys and the Steelers. Top sports cards to buy, raw, and grade. One of the things I'm most excited to talk to you guys about is my Panini Instant Play results tracking. I've been teasing it on the last several episodes, talking about, okay, I'm making all these Panini Instant and Tops Now plays, and one day I'm going to have my results for you, and we'll have graphs and charts for the premium members at NoOffSeason.com. But on today's episode, I'm going to tell you my results from the Panini Instant plays that I've been making. We've got a big announcement coming on Wednesday's show about NoOffSeason.com. So we'll tease that a little bit. And then I will be at the Nashville Card Show this weekend. I'm very excited to set up as a vendor. It's going to be my fourth or fifth time at the show, but my second time setting up as a vendor at the Nashville Card Show. And I'm really, really excited about it. So we'll talk about that and how we hope to reveal our repacks as long as they sell out by then. So go to nooffseason.com/repack if you haven't yet and get one of our 35 remaining repack products, high ceiling, high floor. We'll talk a little bit about that later on in the show. But first, are you ready to start grading your sports cards? CGC Cards is the perfect place to slab your favorite sports cards. From their crystal clear holders to their affordable pricing, CGC Cards is the perfect stop for your grading needs. Go to cgccards.com. to start grading today. Okay, real quick, before we get into the top sports card opportunities to buy, raw, and grade right now, courtesy of the formula-based sports card rankings at nooffseason.com, I just want to talk real quick about my least favorite quarterback of all time. Because this was a topic on the Sports Card Strategy Show heading into the 2023 NFL season. All 2023 offseason, people were high on Aaron Rodgers. They were hype on Aaron Rodgers going into that season, his first season with the Jets. They were buying his sports cards. They thought he's going to win a Super Bowl in New York. This is going to be the greatest thing that's ever happened to football. And he's the greatest quarterback of all time. And let's buy his cards because this is an amazing play. And I told everybody, look, and I'm not right all the time, but I told everybody, pump the brakes on Aaron Rodgers. The dude sucks. Not only does he suck, but my impression of him is that he's a horrible, horrible human being. I do not like him at all. I've gone so far on the Sports Card Strategy Show as to say I hate Aaron Rodgers. And I was very, very excited yesterday. I don't like rooting against people. I really don't. I root for 99.9 repeating percent of athletes, whether they're amateur athletes or professional athletes. I really respect people who work hard and set a high bar for themselves and are athletes. I just really, really have a lot of respect for athletes. And I root for everybody. I really want everybody to do well for the most part, but not this guy. I really just don't like him. I really don't like him. And I was very, very excited to see the Minnesota Vikings whoop his ass to be honest with you. And I mean, 53% completion percentage, 244 yards, 2 TDs, 3 interceptions, a 54.9% QB rating yesterday. I mean, the week before that, 57% completion percentage, 225 yards, no TDs, no interceptions. I mean, the dude is not good. He's not good anymore. And I said this going into 2023. He's not good anymore. Now, I don't root for anyone to get injured either. But I mean, I knew he was going to get injured last year. I just knew it. He's just not good anymore. And he's 40. And look, I'm 43. Nothing against people in their 40s. I love people in their 40s. But he's over the hill. He's done. And if you look at his card pricing as well, I mean, he none of his cards are up. I mean, he's got like so many of his cards are down, looking at just over the last 60 days. I mean, he's got 20, the whole first page of his market movers and his graded cards. He's got 20 cards that are down 28% or more. He's got 40 cards, 37 cards that are down overall. And he doesn't even have that many rookie cards because he's from 2005. So, I mean, the dude, like, he's just done. He's cooked. I don't want to give him that much more airtime, but I saw the results of the game. I didn't watch the London game, but I saw the results and I was just happy. Now, here's my sports card takeaway from the Sunday night game last night, because the Sunday night game, for those of you not familiar, it was delayed by an hour and a half because of weather. And I hope all of you out there are doing okay with all this weather we've had in the U.S. recently, these hurricanes. There's another one coming this week. So really, really, pulling for all of you, regardless of where you live. And I know much of our audience is overseas. I hope you guys overseas are doing well also. So, the sports card hobby is international. So wherever you are, I hope you're all doing well. And I hope the weather is okay in your area. Now, the weather in Pittsburgh last night wasn't okay for about the first 90 minutes, and the game was delayed. Now, I had a lot of work to do. I was actually up shipping a lot of cards. I was up printing up a lot of shipping labels, getting cards ready to drop in the mailbox today. So that was exciting. It's kind of become my new late Sunday night routine ritual, because I'm selling more sports cards than ever right now, not just because of the time of year, but also because I'm consigning cards for people through my eBay account. Premium members of nooffseason.com have the ability to submit their cards to me to either consign or grade for them. And so it's become my ritual. So I was up a little later than normal last night, and I happened to be able to watch this at first defensive battle with turnover after turnover between the Cowboys and Steelers. And then it became a little bit more offensive at the end of the game with Dak Prescott throwing a game-winning touchdown pass. And so it dawned on me, now that the Cowboys have this momentum, they're 3-2. And things shift on a week-by-week basis in the NFL. One week, someone is the scum of the earth, and the next week, their market's back up again after a good performance. And so Dak Prescott is a great player to sell right now. He really is. If you're looking to sell Dak right now, you might not be making as much money as you thought you would be making this year, but he does have a few cards that are up over the last 7 days, and that's a good sign, because he wasn't moving very well to start the season from a sports card perspective. But now his 2016 Donruss base PSA 10 is up $15 over the last 7 days. And I expect that to go up even more this week. So it's a great week to have your Dak Prescott 2016 Donruss base PSA 10s listed. His 2016 Optic Red and Yellow PSA 10 is also up 27%. Now that is a lower pop count. That's a 169 pop count. The previous card, the base Donruss, is an 1815 pop count. So there's a good chance most of you have that card. Now his 2016 Prism Silver BGS 9.5 is up 50%. And his Prism Silver PSA 9 is up 56%. So, like I said, I expect those prices to move up even more this week. Making Dak a great player to sell right now and listing your Dak cards, my biggest takeaway from Sunday night's game, because at this point in the NFL season, early October, you got to take whatever big performance and performance spike you can get. So like Brian Thomas Jr. having a big game and a win over the Colts, with Trevor Lawrence actually playing well, right? Trevor Lawrence is another guy. And it depends the situation that you're in, but you might want to take a look at your Trevor Lawrence, your Dak Prescott, your Brian Thomas Jr. stash right now, especially because most of Brian Thomas Jr.'s cards would be in collegiate uniforms or in pro uniforms that are about to become pretty obsolete because more and more pro releases are coming out. And he was one of Panini's biggest featured guys at the rookie premiere because Malik Neighbors wasn't there, Marvin Harrison Jr. wasn't there, and a lot of the top quarterbacks weren't there. So those three guys, among others, DeAndre Swift is a guy that has been playing very, very well for the Bears. The Bears are 3-2 now. And so you're in a situation where you gotta take a look at your NFL stash and you got to start moving it. And I think Dak and Trevor, to a certain extent, are guys that you should look at after their big wins this week in week 5. So text sports cards to 1-833-992-5727 to get your sell alerts. And there'll be a sell alert every Thursday. So there'll be a big sell alert this Thursday. But because today is Monday, I think it's important to get those Dak, Trevor, maybe even Brian Thomas Jr. cards moving. Because as the NFL season hits the mid-season lull, we see a mid-season dip in pricing. And then we see a resurgence in pricing for certain players in the playoffs, but not everybody. So let's do the Panini Instant Play results tracking now, because this is something that I really am super excited about. And I've been talking about it on the Sports Card Strategy Show for a long time. And I've been making these plays in this format for a short period of time. Now, I've been making Panini Instant plays since probably the last couple of years. And I've been making Tops Now plays for at least the last 3 or 4 years. So typically, in the past, my Panini Instant and my Tops Now plays have been strictly a raw to grade play. It's been identify a card that is a significant card for a player that doesn't have a lot of cards out there in their ecosystem. So typically like a new rookie that doesn't have a lot of supply on the market, try to order that card, try to be first to the market with their graded cards, typically with PSA. Although you could do the same thing with CGC or SGC, but typically with PSA, because PSA, people are going to want those first PSA 10s. They're going to have the biggest premium. But then recently, on an episode of the Sports Card Strategy Show, about a month and a half ago, it dawned on me that it actually makes sense to pre-sell these cards before you get them from Panini or Topps. So I've had some success with pre-sales. Now, if you want more information on the pre-sales, you can go back and listen to a lot of our previous episodes. Or if you're a premium member at nooffseason.com, there is an episode of the premium pod at nooffseason.com dedicated to how to pre-sell your Panini Instant and Tops Now cards. So it really goes in depth into that. And you can get a free 30-day trial at nooffseason.com right now if you're not a premium member. You can go check out that episode and let me know what you think. But just let's go through some of the athletes and some of the cards that I've bought this fall and that I've pre-sold and sold in hand after I get them from Panini and Topps. Now, I will say that what triggered this for me was in August when Bo Nix was named the starter for the Denver Broncos. I started thinking, okay, what's the Is there a smart way? Is there a strategic way to get supply of Bo Nix cards? Relevant supply. Like, I don't want to go back out and buy his Oregon cards or his Auburn cards. Those were the ones that were spiking at the time of the announcement. And then it dawned on me, if Panini or Topps comes out with like an instant or a Topps now, that is a way to get supply for a hot player from the manufacturer's pricing, which hasn't blown up. It's not affected by the secondary market from a pricing standpoint if you can get it directly from the manufacturer. And you can get it in bulk for a discounted rate, essentially lowering your cost per card and putting you in a situation where you can easily profit for a player that's in demand and that has a limited supply, right? All these factors are very, very critical to making money flipping sports cards. So it started with Bo Nix. And it started with his Panini Instant NFL number 11 card, and then his Panini Instant NFL number 17 card, which each of them were preseason cards. Since then, he's had a couple more Panini Instant cards. And it expanded to, of course, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels. It expanded into the college realm with Jeremiah Smith, Julian Sayin. It expanded into Arch Manning recently, and Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison from a skill position standpoint. And it also included the Panini Instant RPS First Look cards that I kind of bitched about not getting until August after ordering them in May from Panini. But nevertheless, I pretty much have all these cards in hand now. There's some of these that I'm going to go through that are pre-sales that I don't have in hand, but most of these I have in hand. All of these I've sold. I've gotten the money from the buyers. And like I said, the ones that are pre-sold, there's a whole lesson in the premium pod at nooffseason.com that kind of goes through exactly how I've handled the pre-sales. But again, most of what I'm about to tell you, I've already had the card in hand and I've shipped it to the buyer and all is well. So I'm going to go in alphabetical order here. So one of the cards I bought recently was Panini Instant AMA Arch Manning, the first vertical one. So these are the base cards that I've pre-sold. I don't have them in hand yet. And these aren't all the cards I've purchased. These are the cards I've purchased and sold. All the cards I've purchased aren't really accounted in this analysis yet. I'm only including the cards that I've sold because I do anticipate selling all of the ones that I've purchased. That's not going to be a problem. Now, I will say some of the bulk, like bricks, Lefty and I call them bricks of 25 cards from Panini. Some of the ones that I've purchased, I've split up raw and grade, and I've sent like 10 of them to PSA. So I'll let you know as I go through this analysis, like which one of these I've split up and sent to PSA. But for the most part, some of these cards I'm still holding raw. Some of them I've split up and sent to PSA, and the ones I've sold are in the analysis. So let's go in alphabetical order. Arch Manning, AMA, Panini Instant, NIL. I've made $27.09 on Arch Manning cards. Now, Bo Nix, the number 11 and the number 17 base, I've sent a total of 4 of those cards total to PSA. Most of them I have already sold, and they've been shipped to the buyer. There's also been a Bo Nix White Tiger out of 5 Panini Instant that I just bought and pre-sold. So on Bo Nix, I've made $125. This is a net profit. So Arch Manning, $27.09. Bo Nix, $124.47. And so when you go through like Arch Manning, I'll just give you like an idea. So the average Arch Manning card has profited about $5. The average Bo Nix card on the base level has profited maybe $3 on average. The Bo Nix out of 5 white tiger stripe profited $71. So that gives you an idea of like if you can go snag a player with their white tiger stripe out of 5 or their Jaguar out of 10 kind of thing. A Jaguar out of 10, white tiger stripe out of 5, and jungle out of 25. The jungle out of 25 doesn't do as well. I lost $15 on my Brian Thomas Jr. jungle RPS first look out of 25. Bought it for $25, sold it for 10. So lost $15. Now, Caleb Williams, there's been preseason number 7, preseason number 10, and preseason number 7 and preseason number 13. There's been a couple other Caleb Williams cards. Those are the ones I've sold so far. And I've profited a total of $56.49 on Caleb Williams cards. Jaden Daniels, I've profited $88.46 on. And he's had the preseason debut number 6. And he's also had a Topps Now number 3. And he's also had a second Panini Instant that is a regular season debut. And so the regular season debut and the preseason debut, I've sold the most of. But the Topps Now, I've made the most profit on. I've made more profit per card and more profit total significantly on the Jaden Daniels Topps Now number 3 card. Now, I did send, I've sold 6 of them, and I did send 14 to PSA. Now, the player that I've made, I think maybe the most per card on is the next guy, actually Jeremiah Smith. So this was a Jeremiah Smith NIL card, not even a Panini Instant NIL, just a regular NIL card. So the cost per card on those is only $2.50. So I've net profited $38.17 on Jeremiah Smith. And that's been great. I mean, in the past, there hasn't been really a way to get relevant supply for guys at a low enough cost when they're that hot. And again, that's what's unique about these. They're print on demand cards. So print on demand cards is kind of what we're talking about here. And one of them is Panini Instant, the other's Topps Now, obviously coming from 2 different companies, different manufacturers. And if you look at the past, when have you been able to go get relevant supply at a low enough cost per card when the player's this hot to actually make money? It's typically been sell at this point when they're hot. So what we've done is we've figured out a way to profit when a guy's hot. And I would say that it's its own little formula here. It's not the same as the actual formula that we talk about with the raw to grade and the already graded. And there's a big announcement coming on Wednesday's show about the formula, which I teased earlier in the episode. The next guy that I actually now, unfortunately, this guy got injured after his amazing preseason debut, and his team is 5-0, not 6-0, 5-0. JJ McCarthy. I was on pace to make a dickload of money on these JJ McCarthy RPS first look cards. So before he got injured, I sold 3 of them for $30 each at a $4.36 cent cost per card. $4.36 cost per card, $30 each. That's $25.64 profit per card. I sold 3 of them. Well, since then, I've sold 2 recently. I lowered the price to $7.99. So it's giving me only a $3 profit on the last 2 sales. But the fact that I'm still profiting $3 per card on JJ McCarthy, I'm almost still doubling my money on JJ McCarthy instant RPS first look cards, even though he's injured. That's pretty incredible. That just shows you the strength of the football card market, and having inventory at the right time for these guys really pays off. So I've net profited $83.49 on JJ McCarthy. And then what's interesting about these next two guys is that these are RPS first look guys, and you would never think I would have made money on these guys. Jermaine Burton, I've net profited $23.56 on Jermaine Burton, and that is from a white tiger stripe out of 5 RPS first look. Bought it for $49.99, sold it for $73.55 after fees, so a net profit of $23.56. And then Jordan Travis, same thing, RPS first look white tiger out of 5. Hasn't even played a real NFL snap. And again, backing up the worst quarterback of all time, worst human being quarterback of all time. $49.99 for that card. Sold it for $76.99. So a net profit of $27 on Jordan Travis. Julian Sayin, Panini NIL football, got it with the same pack order that I got the Jeremiah Smith card. $2.50 cost per card. Sold one of them for $9.25. So that's a net profit of $6.75 on Julian Sayin. And I'm still holding a brick, ready to keep selling those. And these things sell. I mean, by the way, let me pause here before I go through the last few guys. The strategy is different here. I'm not really auctioning. Like I bought Bo Nix. I bought like a total of 75 Bo Nix cards, 76 if you include the white tiger stripe that I just pre-sold. I've really only auctioned off some of the Bo Nix cards, like maybe 10 or 15 of them, but the rest are just buy it now or best offer. And you can do bulk pricing on it if you want to. And you got to do the PWE, the plain white envelope. Okay, so Malik Neighbors is the next guy. I've profited $15.15 on him. Michael Penix, the RPS first look, I've profited $11.75 on him. Reed Shepard, the NBA RPS first look, still has not shipped. And I ordered it about a month ago. Profited $2.43 on one Reed Shepard card sale. So I anticipate selling many more of those in the coming weeks. We'll talk about NBA cards in a second. Spencer Rattler. I've sold quite a few Spencer Rattler cards from the RPS first look. Profited $16.63 on Spencer Rattler. So it's really the Malik Neighbors card. I sent the tops now, 10 of them to PSA already. And the one I'm talking about profiting on is the 2024 Panini Instant Career TD, first career TD number 43. So I'm making about between $2 and $5 profit per card on the Malik Neighbors cards. Michael Penix, I made an average of $11.75 per card. So that's just one sale. And then Spencer Rattler, you know, again, sort of like a Jordan Travis, hasn't really played, but just that limited supply of his rookie cards and then people prospecting on rookie cards for QBs. Guys, this fall, in a short period of time, really just 4 or 5 weeks, I've net profited $500.81 on the Panini and Topps Now plays, the Panini Instant and Topps Now plays. And I still have inventory. I still have some at PSA. And I told one of our one-on-one members this the other day in one of our check-in calls. And if you're interested in a one-on-one membership with me, email me at paul@nooffseason.com and I'll send you those details. But I told one of our one-on-one members the other day, look, you know, this is a multi-tiered, multi-strategy play when you order these print-on-demand cards. It's really all about being quick. You got to be quick. You got to get in and out of these quick. And from a raw to grade perspective, there's always the ability to get these and send some of them to a grading company so that 3 months later or 3 months or less later, you can be first to the market with the graded gem mint version of these cards. And that's a play in and of itself. In the meantime, while they're hot, pre-selling them or selling them raw when you get them is another play. what I've learned to do to maximize is to essentially do what I said a minute ago, which is split them up. So like I've taken a brick of the Caleb Williamses, a brick of the Bo Nixes, a brick of the Penixes, the McCarthys, the big quarterbacks. And I've said, look, I've got these limited supply right now, ability to send them out while they're hot, raw. So I'm going to do that. But you can double down and say, I'm going to send half of these to a grading company, and then I'm going to be first to the market when they come back with the gem mint grades, sort of extending the ability to have the limited supply. Because if you keep them all raw, they're going to lose their luster after a while, because more and more of these Panini Instant and Topps Now cards are going to hit the market. Like you're going to see every week, there's going to be more Bo Nix, more Caleb Williams, more Jaden Daniels, more Malik Neighbors, more Marvin Harrison Jr. You're going to keep seeing Panini print more and more and more and more. And unless your name's Caitlin Clark, which is a whole topic for another show, and we've already discussed this on a previous episode, unless your name's Caitlin Clark, you're probably not immune to the whole supply and demand thing. You're probably not immune to Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels. They're not immune to seeing their prices plummet in the next few weeks with all of these print-on-demand cards. And even on the college side, I think unless your name's Arch Manning, you're probably not immune to your prices plummeting on the college side too. I mean, if you're Cam Ward, if you're Jalen Milroe, certainly Riley Leonard, these guys, like Panini's going to continue to print and print and print and print. Maybe Jeremiah Smith might be immune to it along with Arch Manning, but probably not. So there's another drop today. There's going to be another drop every single week. I promise you. And then if you go over to college.paniniamerica.net, there's even more. So you just got to be careful. Now, before we get into our top sports card opportunities to buy raw and grade, courtesy of the formula at nooffseason.com, the formula-based sports card rankings, the only place that you can go get actual recommendations on what to buy based on ROI, projected ROI. Let's talk about NBA, because I hit on this last week with Lefty for a minute, and I'm really serious. I mean, I think based on historical pattern recognition, data, trends, not only from previous seasons, but from this year, from 2024, every single season, whether it's been baseball, whether it's been football, whether it's been golf, tennis, every single market has had a shorter window, a smaller window of hype. And it's typically started earlier. So right now we're smack dab at the start of the official 2024 NBA preseason schedule. We've seen Bronny James play his first game. Oh, by the way, you're welcome for all the Bronny James plays, especially courtesy of the formula. Most of you should be getting your Bronny James cards back from PSA that you graded because of the formula. And he's got a lot of hype around him right now, so it's going to be a great time to start selling not only your Bronny James cards, but really most of your NBA cards, guys, because if you look at the fact that we're smack dab at the beginning of the NBA preseason schedule, there's a lot of NBA hype happening right now, and it's going to be a short window. Like when we get to November, it's going to kind of start to go back to football a little bit, but we're going to see this window towards the end of this month where a lot of the attention is going to go away from football. It's going to go to basketball, because opening week of the NBA season, the actual NBA season, is October 22nd. That's the first. That's opening night. So that's Tuesday, October 22nd. So then we're going to see a full slate of games really on October 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th. That's Saturday. 27th. That's Sunday. So, I mean, we're like that time frame, October 22nd, I would say through the 31st, is going to be when you're going to want to be selling a lot of your basketball cards, which means you're going to want to start to get listing them now. Really, get them up and buy it now or best offers right now. If you're not ready to list them yet, put them in your eBay drafts for sure. Like I'm going through and I'm listing Victor Wembanyama. You know, all of my non-PSA 10 Victor Wembanyama cards, whether it's Optic, whether it's from the National, whether it's Prism, PSA 9, these things, I'm listing all of them basically today. I'm at least getting them in drafts or getting them scheduled, right? Even some of the consignment cards, like here's a Green Prism PSA 10 that I'm consigning for someone. Here's a Allen and Ginter PSA 10 Victor Wembanyama that I'm consigning for someone. Here's my Cade Cunningham Purple Wave PSA 9. I mean, now's the time to start listing your basketball cards. I mean, you're going to see a rise in basketball card pricing over the next few weeks. And what do we want to do? We want to maximize the hype window, mitigate the risk against injury and underperformance. We continue to learn our lesson here at nooffseason.com, and it makes us stronger. It makes us better. We're making more money per play, and we're increasing the percentage of plays in which we make money versus lose money or break even. But we also still make some mistakes. Like I held like a few days too long on some Anthony Richardson Prism Silver PSA 10s, and I had them in my eBay drafts. I just didn't list them. And sometimes it's as silly as listing them in an auction and not a buy it now or best offer because the market moves day by day. It's like, it's so finicky. It moves day by frickin' day. So get your NBA cards listed, get them ready to sell, get them in your eBay drafts. Go to nooffseason.com/ask if you have any specific questions about any of this. I will answer your question on the premium pod. We've got big announcements coming at nooffseason.com about nooffseason.com and the formula-based rankings on Wednesday's show. So stay tuned for that. Don't forget to check out our repack product by going to nooffseason.com/repack. We only have 35 left. We want to sell them all out by the end of this week so that we can reveal it at the Nashville Card Show in a live stream. So you don't have to be at the Nashville Card Show this weekend to see who you got. We just want to be able to do the live stream. So help us sell out the last 35 of these fuckers. Go to nooffseason.com/repack. And let's end the show with the top sports card opportunities to buy, raw, and grade, because this is how we make our real money here. I'm just going to go backwards all the way up the list from number 6, 7 through 1. We're going to go 7 through 1. You know what? Let's do 10. We'll do 10 through 1 because, believe it or not, we've had some gems on some of the older cards that have been submitted through our grading service at nooffseason.com. We've had some gems. So a lot of times it's like, well, you know, this is an older card, so blah, blah, blah. Well, look, if you can find a gemmable version of an older card, you can really, really cash in. And that's an old card in at number 10 here. And again, before I count down from number 10 to number 1 on the formula-based sports card rankings at nooffseason.com, let me remind everybody real quick what this is. I said it earlier in the show, like this is the only rankings that exist in the world for sports cards that show cards that you should buy from a projected ROI standpoint from the highest to the lowest. Now, how do we get here? Well, grading is kind of simple. It's complicated, but it's simple. Let me explain. So there's a lot to it, but from a number standpoint, it's simple. You have to buy the card raw, which means ungraded. Then you have the upside of a PSA 10, which is going to give you the most upside on the secondary market. Short of a BGS pristine black label or a CGC, potentially CGC pristine or an SGC pristine. For the most part, a PSA 10 is going to give you, it's got the most liquidity. So it's going to give you the most upside on the secondary market, whether it's eBay, whatnot, Fanatics Collect, whatever. Most of the time it's eBay. So you have the cost of the card to buy raw. Then you have the grading fee. Then you have the likelihood of actually getting the grade that you need, which is called the gem rate. The gem rate also gives you, gemrate.com also gives us data on how many cards have been graded of each of these cards and what the most likely grade has been. So what is the highest pop count, the PSA 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever. The formula that I built this year at nooffseason.com takes all of those factors into account and spits out a target cost, which is based on the most recent comp, and a projected average sale price, which is based on all the different factors that I just mentioned. And then the projected ROI. And the projected ROI is really what matters most because it gives us a focus. Because without a focus, we're just like fledgling around, like guessing. Oh, I think this card, blah, blah, blah. The ROI gives us a focus. And the formula-based rankings at nooffseason.com are ranked by the ROI. Now, the ROI percentage is very conservative. It takes into account your marketplace fees, your tax, your shipping, and everything like that. But the most common question we get about the formula is, on the target cost, is that the cost for the card, or do I have to add my own fees for shipping and tax? You don't have to add anything. I give you the target cost. That's the cost you're trying to just buy the card for. And then whatever fees you pay, we've already accounted for them on the back end of the formula with the projected ROI number. So let's count down from 10 to 1. And if you have any questions, drop a comment below at youtube.com/Paul Hickey, or go to nooffseason.com/ask and submit it there. And if you want to DM me on Instagram, follow me at Sports Card Strategy. You can try DMing me there, and I'll try to get back to you. Okay. Kobe Bryant's 1996 Hoops Base 281. Most recent comp, $12. Pretty high upside in a PSA 9 and PSA 10, $61 and $265. Projected average sale price based on all grades via gemmint.com, $74. So you're likely, when you buy this card and grade it, multiple copies of it, you're likely to profit 78%. Bryce Eldridge, 2023 Bowman Draft Chrome First Auto. Now, again, none of these don't need selling markers. This is just straight up raw to grade plays. Now, if you combine them with a selling marker, you could profit quite a bit more. Bryce Eldridge, 2023 Bowman Draft Chrome First Prospect Auto, $97 target cost. We never would have looked at a guy like Bryce Eldridge before the formula existed. But there's high upside in a PSA 9, 143, and a PSA 10, 365. Gives us an average, projected average sale price of $265. That's a 79% ROI. Now we get to Zion. Zion Williamson, 2019 Prism Silver 248. Maybe it's been picked over. Maybe not. 57% target cost. PSA 9 upside, $100. PSA 10 upside, $360. That could go up if he has a good season. Projected average sale price, $181.45. That's an 86% ROI raw to grade on Zion. Here's one I love because it's still... We're going to get in. Actually, the rest of the cards here are definitely more current, but this is the one I love. Travis Hunter, 2023 Bowman U First Prospect Base, $5. PSA 9 upside, 33. PSA 10 upside, 70. I don't see that going down with this guy. Projected average sale price, $61.58. That's an 89% ROI. Travis Hunter. Next, Victor Wembanyama, 2023 Contenders 11 Mojo Hobby. Now we had to sort out some, for those of you who are familiar with our content, we had to sort out some Contenders Mojo retail data because some of it was inaccurate from some of our data sources, but we sorted it out. $9 target cost, $29 PSA 9, $114 PSA 10. I projected average sale price, $72. This is after taxes and fees, 92% ROI. CJ Stroud, 2024 Topps Composite Football number 2 base. Topps Chrome from Composite. $5, $45 PSA 9, $85 PSA 10. Projected average sale price, $67. Could that be paired together with a selling marker if Stroud leads the Texans deep into the playoffs? Absolutely. 106% ROI raw to grade. Could go up from that. Should go up from that, honestly. Max Clark, 2023 Bowman Draft First Prospect Auto. Tigers into the playoffs. Max Clark, their top prospect in the minors. $90 target cost, 153 in PSA 9, 499 in PSA 10. Projected average sale price, 310. Projected ROI, 123%. This is some of the highest projected ROIs we've ever seen on the formula in the top 5. Chet Holmgren 2023 Prism Silver Raw. This is a tough grade, but $14 target cost, $40 PSA 9, 246 PSA 10. Could definitely go up. $108.20 projected average sale price due to a ridiculously low gem rate. That's 147% ROI though. CJ Stroud 2023 Select 41 Concourse Silver, number 2. $10 target cost, $75 in PSA 9, 115 in PSA 10. Projected average sale price, $109.40. That's 182% ROI. And then the most ROI that we checked this, and this is legit sales data. Victor Wembanyama 2023 Topps Chrome 1 base currently. Now this PSA 10 price is probably going to go down, but still, wait till you hear the projected ROI here. You're going to want to go buy a ton of these cards and go to nooffseason.com to do it, because you click on Victor Wembanyama, you click on this card, and it curates eBay searches for you at nooffseason.com. $18 buy-in. Victor Wembanyama 2023 Topps Chrome number 1 base. $18 buy-in, 56% upside in a PSA 9. $500 upside in a PSA 10. Now that could go down, but that's what it is today. $218 projected average sale price. This is a 347% projected ROI. That's the most we've ever had in the raw to grade formula-based rankings. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We definitely would not be as successful as we are without all of you, but we're killing it. We really are. And we appreciate all of your support. Everybody, thanks so much for joining us on the Sports Card Strategy Show. Proudly part of the nooffseason.com Sports Card Network. Stay tuned for Wednesday's show. Big announcement coming regarding nooffseason.com and the formula-based sports card rankings. It's only getting better. Don't worry. Everybody have a great day. Thanks so much for being here with us on the Sports Card Strategy Show. To connect with us further, please subscribe to the YouTube channel at youtube.com/Paul Hickey. Please also give us a follow on Instagram at Sports Card Strategy and on X at No Off Season Card. We also have a Discord that you could join at sportscardstrategy.com. Everyone, I'm Paul Hickey. For the rest of us here at nooffseason.com, have a great day. We'll see you again soon.